Hello and welcome to my channel, Kronos here. Today I'm bringing you a Dual Crossbow Hunter Thief. This is a classic combo that excels in dealing excellent ranged damage. If you want to destroy your enemies with a barrage of deadly bolts, then this is for you. Before we get into the guide, I'll let you know that tomorrow, Thursday, we will continue our hardcore challenge, 5 PM UTC. The stream will happen on YouTube, and if you can't make it, I will upload a summary of the run the day after. So for today's build, we will use two one-handed crossbows. We will start as a ranger to get our second attack as soon as possible. Then we will multi-class into thief to get access to a second bonus action, so we can shoot again with the offhand weapon. For the ranger subclass, I have chosen hunter, since for long combats you have access to more attacks as long as the enemies are clustered together. But Gloomstalker is an excellent alternative too. We will finish the build with 3 levels in the champion fighter subclass, action, surge and increased critical range being the icing of the cake. Kindly read the description of this video to understand my thought process and some considerations for these guides. Also, make sure to subscribe to support my content, and without delay, let's begin. So we will start our build as a ranger. Our favorite enemy is going to be bounty hunter, so enemies have disadvantage on their saving throw while we use ensnaring strike. Natural explorer, we will choose wasteland wanderer fire since it is the most common. Finally, for ability points, we will focus on dexterity and wisdom with a bit of constitution. You may also start with dexterity 17 if you want to choose athlete at character level 4. At character level 2 we get access to our first spells. We select Hunter's Mark and Hail of Thorns, for example, and our fighting style is going to be, of course, archery, since we will be a ranged character. On the next level we choose our subclass. We are going for Hunter Horde Breaker. This will let us attack 2 enemies as long as they are close together. We can use both melee or ranged this way. For our spell slot we will choose ensnaring strike. Keep in mind the enemies will have disadvantage on this saving throw, and we get to select our first feat. We are going for dexterity in this case, or athlete if you had dexterity 17. Ranger level 5, second attack, and we get to choose a single level 2 spell. Here my choice is Lesser Restoration. Protection against poison is very good as well, since cannot be interrupted and it is until long rest. You can also go for Silence, a solid choice as well. Level 6 we multi-class into Rogue, getting access to sneak attack, both melee and range. We choose skill proficiencies and we continue as a rogue. Now hide, dash and disengage will consume a bonus action, very useful. At level 8 multi-class into thief for the second bonus action, and finally to close the rogue progression we get our second and last feat, that will be sharpshooter. This will apply a -5 to hit, but we will have a +10 to damage. We can also shoot from low ground without penalty. Last 3 levels we will be in fighter. We are going to choose defense, but you can choose any other fighting style if you want to play more of a hybrid. As a fighter level 2 action surge, extremely powerful skill granting us an extra action. And finally we get to choose the fighter subclass, that will be champion. As usual, I present you a small combat showcase so you can see the build in action, and I show you the items that I have equipped for this combat. Nothing extremely overpowered, just trying to highlight the build and the skills. I know the combat is a little bit tricky at times, but I hope you like it. And let me know if you have any comments, ideas or suggestions, always welcome as usual. So when playing along like this, we will need ensnaring strike to have advantage on our attacks, unless we are attacking from stealth, of course. Once the enemy is ensnared, then we will trigger automatically our sneak attack. So here, since the enemy is quite dangerous, I go for it and I completely obliterate him in a single barrage. I'm trying to get rid of the sorcerer as well, but unfortunately I miss a shot and 2 shots, so she will stay around for a little bit. This build of course excels greatly if you are under the haste spell, for example. Here we're going to take a little bit of a beating. I hope we're going to survive it. Usually you will have a strong party to support you, so you can consistently do ranged damage without having to worry and taking too many hits. Since we have Thief, we can disengage. Here unfortunately I was still under threat, so I wasn't able to shoot to the sorcerer without disadvantage. Luckily for us, even with disadvantage, we can manage to beat her down, hopefully. Since we don't have many other choices here to do. And I ran out of movement, so there it is. Beautiful. For the showcases, I usually do not use any consumable or buffs. But with this build, make sure you use concoctions and poisons, since this will greatly benefit from it, and since you have an extra bonus action, it will not take you that much of your turn to do so. Here we barely survived because the enemies keep hitting us all the time, even though they need like 13 plus with our current armor. They are awfully skilled. So now they're both together. So first I apply Ensnaring Strike to have advantage and trigger the sneak attack, and then I can proceed and use Horde Breaker to get a free attack on one of them. So how it works is you have to hit one first, and then the second one will open up, and then you can do the follow-up strike. One good thing about Ensnaring Strike is that they will also take damage while they are ensnared. Here at this point I decide to move back a little bit because I am a better shooter, of course. And I get to trigger as well the Horde Breaker, hitting both of them. Here we finally defeat the second one, but unfortunately these guys are a little bit tough and they're fighting hard to survive until the end. I'm very excited for tomorrow's stream to continue the hardcore run. We just left after finding withers and we need to do the re-spec for Shadowheart and Will, I believe. And then after that we will go for all goblin camps and all these things, so I think there's going to be a lot of action in the stream. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I hope you enjoy the series, and let's see how long I can survive. As usual, thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Adios!